Okay, so this is just a quick video where what I'm going to be doing is installing Armbian onto an Orange Pi Zero, which you can see in this window in the webcam. And yeah, that's just some torch on top of it just to hold it down. And basically showing how to make it read-only. One good thing about Armbian on the Orange Pi Zero is that it's actually very easy to make it read-only, which is one good thing about it, that they've actually bothered to put it in as a standard feature rather than you having to fight it like you have to in Raspbian. But maybe, I don't know, maybe that's just because Raspbian's more famous. So that's why they... Right, okay, you'd have seen a little bit of a cut there because when I tried to go to the Armbian site, it wasn't working for some reason, but I'm just going to check again to see. Alright. Alright, see, so what you normally do is you'd go, I was trying to go straight to their site, but what you do is go to their site, or if you do a search, basically you go to the download link. Now I'm just seeing, alright, okay, so it's working now, okay. Right, so basically when you go to the Armbian page, you basically have to go to download, and then you basically have to find the board that you're using. So I'm using the Orange Pi Zero. Right, yeah, so that's this one. After me, I didn't even know about the Zero Plus. That must be a new one that's come out recently. I'll have to check it out. So basically, I'm running an Orange Pi Zero. So I'll click on that. And then basically, you have two options. You can either use the stable old one, which apparently has better wireless, or the newer one, which has a newer kernel, so some of the features are more advanced. Like I ended up using this one for the USB storage because it seemed, well, no, because the newer kernel actually had more options in it. But if you want to have Wi-Fi or wireless which works stably, then it seems you're better off using the legacy kernel version. So basically, just click on whichever one you want. just check. This is testing. I might have selected the wrong one. Okay, so these are the different ones you can try. It's hard to say. I mean, the one I used was just the, because these are actually different now. So if you use the default, that's the stable one. At the moment, you're probably sticking with Ubuntu because that's the one I use. So yeah. Okay, so I'll download this one. Yeah, this, I think this was the one that I downloaded myself. And so basically, you just download it to wherever is convenient. Yeah, so that's the same. Alright, so that's the older one that I downloaded. Okay, so now it's just a matter of decompressing it. So it's using 7-zip. Of course, you can get the GUI version, but I just find it's easier just using the command line. Okay, so that's uncompressed. So now, so we got the image file there. And so basically what I'm going to be doing now is putting it into a, I'm just using a standard SanDisk sort of ultra card, and you can see that with, yeah, so you can barely see it because this webcam's not that good, but that's the card I'm going to be putting on. I'm just going to use this reader in order to put the image on there. Okay, so the last one is it's the card reader. So basically what I'm going to be doing is just writing the image onto it. So it looks like that card was actually from a, what is it? Oh yeah, a Raspberry Pi, because I can recognize that, the size of the image. And so to copy the image, you can just do, I'll just use DD Rescue. And I prefer DD Rescue rather than DD because it's not quite as dangerous. Okay, so that's finished. So, I mean, if you're going to be trying to do this on a Windows machine, then most people I've seen on videos seem to use, I think it's Win32 Disk Imager. But obviously I'm not going to be using that on this system. Alright, so now once the card's written, it's a case of now putting it into the Orange Pi 0. Okay, and well, as you can see, I've got it in the case, but the only reason I've put it in the case is simply because when it's in the case, you actually get more options. So you can see it's got, you get a lot, an extra audio port and a microphone. I think it's a microphone port, or yeah, I think there's a microphone in there as well, and the two USBs. So that's the reason why I just got the case. Okay, so that's in. So now all I've got to do is basically turn the power on. And you see, when I turn the power on, you get those two Ethernet lights blink. And basically, if the Ethernet lights go out after the 3 blinks, that means the SD card is booted. So the bootloader's finished, I think, at that stage. Oh, and I think when the kernel's loading, that's when you get the 1 light blinking. And so now it's booting up. And yeah, so now the kernel's, sorry, the Ethernet's initialized. Oh, sorry, the assist, I think this is after the kernel's loaded, but the networking hasn't initialized yet. So yes, I think the kernel's loaded the driver for the network card. And then after a while the system's booting, you should see. Alright, okay. That's actually different, because it seems what's happened now is they must have fixed it. Because in the old version, the link light used to go out, but it seems they've now fixed. So they are making improvements in the kernel, even in the old version, so that now the actual link light stays on and the activity. So now the next thing to do is to find it on the network. Actually, so it's there, but I just wanted to show you that when you're actually scanning the network, yeah, it's hard to see, but you can see the light blinking just ever so slightly. It's just the exposure on this camera is a bit high. Let's see if I can. It's a bit better. Because I think when the exposure is high, it slows it right down. So it's hard to see the light blinking. Yeah, see, yeah, you can see it blinks better now. So that's the scan. So yeah, so with this particular image of Armbian, it looks like it's very good. They've sorted out the Ethernet lights, which is nice, and maybe the wireless is good as well. But anyway, so now we know the IP address of it. Basically, you now have to log in, and you can get in there with SSH. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you get that where you have to, if you use the key before, oh sorry, you connected to another machine on the same IP address, so you just have to remove it from the known host. And so basically login is root and the password is I think it's 1234. Okay, and then as soon as you go in, you immediately have to create a new password. So I'll just do that. Oh, okay. I wasn't reading properly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot. Well, actually, what I'll do is I'll show you how to do this, since this is actually a bit annoying. So what I'll do, right? So I'll just crash it. Right. So what basically has happened is that on the actual image, inside the where is it? Oh yeah, so you go into etc, and then it's in PAM, I think. Yeah, so into PAM, and then I think it's common password. Yeah, that's right. So if you go into PAM, it's etc pam.d, and then common password, there's an option in there on the line for password which says obscure. So what that means is if you want to put a basic password in, it doesn't let you. So you have to basically make something up, which can be a bit tiring sometimes when you want to, that you have to remember, especially when you're just going to be testing it. I mean, who cares about security when it's just in your own, you're just going to be testing it by yourself. Okay, so bootloader's up and it's loaded the kernel. Now the kernel's loaded and system's booting. And just wait a bit. And then that's it there. Oh. Yep, and so that's it. So the system's up. And we've got, should have networking. And one thing I found about this, sometimes the IP address keeps changing for whatever reason. So you have to recheck to see what IP address it has. Alright, still seems the same. Oh. Don't know how to manage that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 again. Okay, now you can put your simple password in if you can't be bothered. And well, this is just if you want to set up another account, but it's usually not really going to bother since you're going to go in as root anyway. And I think we're finally in after all of that. And what you find it also does is that it will automatically expand the partition without even telling you. So that's one thing you have to remember. Yeah, see the image itself was only 1.4 gigs, but you notice now the available is 6 gigs, which is the full size of the SD card. Alright, so now we're in. Basically, as the where is it? No, it doesn't. I thought it was on here, but anyway, basically to set it up as read-only, so that you can basically unplug it whenever you want to not have to care about any problems, is you basically run armbian-config. And so basically you've got the different options. I think this is actually slightly different. But basically, you see, so you can set various things up on here. And even the wireless. So because this is a newer kernel, you probably find the wireless is probably works a lot better now. So you can, yes, there's various options on there. So you can connect to a wireless network. You can even create a hotspot as well, which is pretty good. But basically, what I'm after is the system. Okay, well, it looks like after all that basically the version, the Xenial default one, which uses the old kernel, doesn't actually give you the option for read-only. I have to admit, I didn't check, so I thought that it would do. So, just going to quickly check out the next one to see if it is, yeah, 414. So, yeah, I suppose that's one thing about this is you can't power it off. But anyway, what I'll do is just turn it off anyway, manually. Okay, so probably might have noticed I've cut some bits out of this video because basically the And it's the 3.4, the old one, which using the 3.4 kernel. I think that's the older version of Ubuntu, and it doesn't seem to actually have support for the read-only, which is a shame. So I'm just going to try the newer one, which uses the 4.14 kernel. Okay, so now just put the newer one on. Okay, so that's finished. So now, just a case of putting it, oh, well, actually, before I do that, yeah, might as well just give it a quick mount. And then basically, just go again into the etc and then pam.d. And then common password. Just get rid of that obscure. So you can type in any password you want. Just make sure to unmount it. Okay, so just power it on again. Okay, so bootloader's finished, the kernel's loading. Alright, so that's up, and yeah, they definitely made a difference because it was a 4.11 kernel where only one of the lights would come on. Although maybe I spoke too soon. No, still, yeah, still both lights. So they've been doing some work, which is good. So that means this newest kernel should actually be more stable than the previous one, even though the previous one was stable anyway. I didn't really have any problems with it. But it's good to see they're actually fixing stuff on it. Okay, I didn't seem to find anything. Maybe I was a bit too quick and it hadn't actually got an IP address yet. So I think it's 1234 again. Yes, you have to watch out for that. That it seems this newest image, this beta one, for some reason they've messed up the host name. Oh no, sorry. No, they haven't. What's happened is it's used an IP address that I must have been something that I'd set up before. For some reason the DHCP servers kept a note of that particular IP address. But anyway, so it's 1234 again. Just put in any password you want. Just Control C and then we just go back in. Okay, yeah, see, so this is different now, because you notice it actually tells you that you use armbian-config. So when you see that, this is the newer one. And it seems like there's a few other Armbian commands as well. The Armbian monitor and add overlay. Okay, and so let's have a look. Right, yeah, see, this is much better. So this is one reason for getting the newer image based on the version 4 kernel. And that's basically when you run armbian-config, you get a lot more options in it. And the all-important one that I was after was, of course, the overlay root, where you can enable a virtual read-only root file system. And so just see, yeah, so you got the usual, like in network, that see, now you can actually choose your default interface. So I'm just going to stick with the Ethernet, and of course you can still create a hotspot and normal sort of wireless. So you can just and so there's various options you can choose, but the one I'm after is, of course, the read-only. So basically, you go to overlay routes to enable the read-only file system, and then press return, and it just downloads some packages. And actually, this seems to be quicker than it was with the older image I downloaded. This part was actually slower. And even though this seems to be taking its time, this is actually a bit quicker than the previous image. So it looks as if they are making improvements when it comes to the software for the Orange Pi Zero, which is making it like a pretty good candidate to use, especially considering it only costs about £11 something. This is for because this one I've got is the 512 megabyte version. And you can also get one which is got 256 megabytes of memory, but that's only like £1 less, so it's hardly worth it saving £1 and ending up with half the memory. Okay, so that's the bootloader. Well, no, I think that's the second stage, the kernel. So now the link is up, and when it flickers, it should get the DHCP. Yeah, right, yeah, so there. So I think it should have got the IP address now. It's still on the collab, so I'll just try the, yeah, so it's just the same. They seem to have improved that as well, because before the IP address used to keep on changing. Yeah, see, so basically, see, it says, now it says, remember, your system is in virtual read-only mode. And so basically, the good thing about that is that now your system is effectively saved. So what you do is you'd upgrade it, add all the things you want and services, etc. And then now you can put it into a virtual read-only mode, which is actually tested which is actually tested by the developers, which is a big advantage compared to Raspbian so far, which is people individually having to do it, and the developers themselves don't seem that interested, because I don't know, they've probably got other things they're concerned about. So best way to test to see that this is working is that if we go into the root directory, and then we see what's there. So we have the usual files that you'd expect, and if we do mount, you can see a big mess which basically shows you which files are file systems are mounted. Yeah, and so you scroll through all the mess, but the important one that you're looking for is the root symbol, which is just the single /. And so once you've had a look, you find that it is oh no, sorry, not so right, so this is /, so this is the main root, and you notice the type is overlay and it's read write. So basically you can write whatever you want into the root file system, and it will put all the changes into the workdir. But to find out the actual real file system on the actual card, it's whichever one is MMC BLK0P1, and so that's on media root-RO and type X4, of course, but the all important is that it's RO, so it's read-only. So you know that whatever you do, that nothing's going to be writing to that memory card. And I've found that the ultimate way to test that is to do the old classic that that you keep hearing about, but of course no one really wants to try it. But now with the read-only file system, of course, when you do this, you better make sure you're on the right machine. And you press return, and of course you get that message, which tells you that they've decided to get a bit paranoid with the RM command. But of course, you can still do it, and then you press return on that, and then you wait while it tries to go through it, and then you get all the mess. And there you have it. So when you do ls, of course you get a problem because there's nothing there. So effectively the system is dead. Yeah, so you literally can't go anywhere. Yeah, see, so nothing really works. I mean, ls is gone. So it looks as if the system's completely sort of died. Yeah, see, there's no commands you can actually get. So the only thing you can do now is to power off. So now, if that wasn't read-only, the system would be completely gone now, and you'd have to do a reinstall the image. Okay. So that's it off. So now back on, and so let's see if the read-only can save the day. So we can see at the moment the system is completely messed up, or was completely messed up, where you can't do anything. Actually, I should have typed exit, but you know. Okay, so system's up. Looks like it's just got itself an IP address. and SSH has just worked out that the connection is gone. But it's still allowing us to log in. And there you go, system's back. So it's as easy as that. And if you go to the root ls, and the system's back to normal. So that is one of the best reasons why you should, once you've set one of your systems up, especially an Orange Pi 0 or anything using Armbian, to actually put it into virtual read-only mode, and then from then on you can pull the plug, do whatever you want, and your system will still be safe. And knowing that all you have to do is just turn it off, and the advantage, of course, you can turn it off anytime you want and not have to worry about any file system corruption. Okay, so hopefully that video will be useful to someone, and I'll see if I can make some more videos relating to this and other systems like it. Okay, see you.